Good? Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. Today we're here to celebrate and support Made in Alberta ingenuity to reduce emissions and, of course, grow our economy. For nearly a century, our energy and industrial sectors have been global leaders in responsible development, from pioneering oil exploration to becoming one of the world's great energy superpowers. From proving and scaling up the power of CCUS to building Canada's first carbon-neutral hydrogen complex and Dow's carbon-neutral ethylene cracker and derivative site, Alberta is truly leading the way. We're here at Lafarge Exshaw, the largest cement plant in Canada, to celebrate what Alberta ingenuity looks like and to announce 2 new programs to help fuel industry's ambitions. This plant is a great example of how our province turns challenges into opportunities. 5 years ago, we provided $10 million in TIER funding to help transform this plant into a new low-carbon fuel facility. Now, it's one of the most advanced and modern cement plants in the world. It is 50% powered by construction waste, turning garbage that would have otherwise been destined for landfills into low-carbon fuel. This will save 30,000 tons of emissions each year while Lafarge keeps supplying cement across Canada and, of course, the Pacific Northwest. We are here to keep that momentum going. Today, I'm thrilled to announce funding for 2 exciting programs that will turn industrial waste into safe, reliable, and secure energy, all while reducing emissions and keeping our economy strong. Right now, mountains of old tires are piling up in landfills around the world. Some are recycled, but many are just left there. Alberta's first tire-derived fuel pilot program, that's a bit of a tongue twister to start off your morning, will test a bold new way to turn these tires into energy. This pilot will turn more than 1.5 million old tires into over 15,000 tons of chips that will be used to power facilities just like this one that we are in today. It will be led by our partners at ARMA, the Alberta Recycling Management Authority, and tested out right here in Exshaw, along with 2 other pilots coming soon. But that's not all. We're also investing $10 million from the industry-funded TIER Fund to help more facilities reduce emissions and stay competitive. Led by Emissions Reduction Alberta, the new Strategic Energy Management for Industry program will help dramatically reduce energy costs by upgrading to the latest technology. It will also help streamline operations, increase productivity, and lower costs. Innovation like this knows no limits, so we're opening this up to industries across the board, including agriculture, forestry, mining, oil and gas, and cement companies like Lafarge. Both of these new programs will make our economy even stronger. They are betting on Alberta, our industry, our expertise, because this is about more than just reducing emissions. It's about keeping people working and building a prosperous and sustainable future for all Albertans. Thank you so much, and I'll now pass things over to Justin Reamer to tell us a little bit more about the new Industrial Energy Management Program.
I'll just adjust this a little bit. Thank you very much, Minister, and congrats to everyone on the announcement today. Thank you, Minister, for your leadership and continued support of ERA and the province's efforts to reduce emissions and grow our economy. And I am excited to be here today to share this great news with Albertans. I want to start by thanking everyone at Lafarge for hosting us. We've been working closely with their team on the low-carbon fuels facility here with $10 million of TIER funds to support it, as the Minister mentioned. And I've always said that the number of projects and the amount of investment isn't the measure of success. It's the real success that comes later when the projects are built, commercialized, deployed, and the emissions are actually reduced. And we're seeing that now with this facility coming to fruition. It's also worth noting that ERA has provided Lafarge with $5 million to study carbon capture at this plant, and I hear this initiative is coming along nicely. These 2 projects are key to positioning Lafarge to be Canada's first net zero cement plant, and wouldn't that be an incredible feat? So improving the efficiency of Alberta's industrial manufacturing process and facilities is the quickest and most cost-effective way to lower your energy bills and stay competitive. Low-hanging fruit. But it takes expertise, training, and capital, and lots of it. And that's why we're pleased today to announce ERA's new Strategic Energy Management for Industry program, or SEMI program, that will help fund capacity building and the cost of capital retrofits. This $50 million program will officially launch tomorrow, targets key industries in Alberta, including agriculture, forestry, mining, utilities, construction, manufacturing, you name it. And to offer a sneak peek on what this will entail, eligible facilities will have up to $50,000 provided for energy assessments and audits, up to $250,000 to implement energy management information systems, and up to $100,000 to participate in strategic energy management training, and then up to $1 million to invest in energy efficient capital retrofit projects. So at its core, these projects are about setting up Alberta's industrial manufacturing facilities for long-term energy management success, building stronger in-house expertise, and ongoing savings. As some of you might know, 2024 marks ERA's 15th anniversary, and since 2009, we've committed almost $1 billion, worth over $7 billion in public-private investment. In total, the projects create more than 46,000 person-years of employment, and by 2027, we will have close to a $7 billion impact on the province's gross domestic product. So as we look back at our 15 years, we know our impact will grow with the investments from the TIER Fund, and ERA's story is truly remarkable and serves as a global recognized model for funding technology solutions that the world needs. Our success is thanks to continued collaboration and strong leadership from the Government of Alberta. Working together, government and industry can play a key role in reaching our decarbonization targets, fostering innovation, and making real progress to achieve our collective goals. We'll be announcing the information about the SEMI program tomorrow, and I encourage everyone to visit our website at eralberta.ca. I will now hand things over to Brad, CEO of Lafarge. Or sorry, Brad Pickering. Brad Pickering, ARMA.
Thanks, Justin, and thank you to Brad and the Exaw Lafarge team for having us here today. Good morning, my name is Brad Pickering. I'm board chair of ARMA, the Alberta Recycle Management Authority. I'm here to share with you an important step forward in one of ARMA's stewardship recycling program efforts, the Tire-derived fuel pilot program. But before I delve into the specifics of this initiative, I'd like to take a moment to highlight ARMA's role in Alberta's circular economy. Our mission is to be an inspiring partner and a respected steward of the environment. We strive to lead in recycling and waste management, best practice and innovation, with the goal of making the world a more sustainable place, and that we leave every place better than we found it. Our aim is to inspire Albertans to waste less, think creatively about resource use, and collaborate with like-minded partners who share our passion for sustainability. I'm proud that ARMA has come a long way since its establishment in 1992. Today, we're not just managing recycling programs, but leading a province-wide shift towards circular thinking centered around our vision to inspire a future without waste. Today, as the authority overseeing end-of-life processing for electronics, paint, tires, and used oil in Alberta, as well as oversight body for the extended producer responsibility framework, we're at the forefront of driving a dynamic system change. We're proud of the trust and credibility we've earned from the provincial government and industry stakeholders like Lafarge Canada. Thanks to this incredible leadership from ARMA's CEO, Ed Guggenheimer, and our leadership team, our success is a testament to the dedication and tenacity that the ARMA board sees in everyone at ARMA, and also the actions we see in Albertans, the daily choices they are making to keep us moving towards a future without waste. Alberta is poised for substantial growth, with the province population projected to rise from 4.7 million to nearly 7.5 over the next 2 decades. That kind of population growth brings both challenges and opportunities, but as many of you have heard Ed, our CEO, consistently say, rather than seeing challenges as barriers, we see them as opportunities to innovate. And so, at ARMA, we see it as our responsibility to continue to build scalable waste and recycle management infrastructure that will meet the demands of this steep population growth while at the same time advancing Alberta's circular economy. Now a little bit about ARMA's Tire-derived fuel pilot program. This pilot addresses a pressing need in our recycling ecosystem. With traditional markets for recycled tire products declining, ARMA's stewardship team explored innovative ways to address an ever-growing tire stockpile, as taking this material to the landfill is simply not an option. And in that exploration, we identified potential innovative solution with resource recovery technologies, turning tire materials into energy. The pilot program aims to assess the viability of tire-derived fuel for industrial, commercial, and institutional, or ICI, sector as a permanent part of our tire recycling program, help our registered processors understand production costs, and create a new market for tire-derived fuel in Alberta. This pilot is first of its kind in Alberta, though similar programs have been launched in Ontario, British Columbia, and Quebec. We've partnered with 2 of our registered tire processors for this pilot, and a total of 15,750 tons to be used as tire-derived fuel. As the Minister mentioned, that's 1.5 million tires. Lafarge Canada is our first industry partner for this pilot program, and we're actively seeking other potential industry partners to join this pilot. This pilot represents ARMA's commitment to innovation and our exciting role in driving systematic change towards a circular economy in Alberta. We'd like to thank the Government of Alberta for their support in this initiative. This partnership enables us to explore innovative solutions that benefit Alberta's environment and economy. I also want to express our gratitude to our industry partners, particularly Lafarge Canada. Your collaboration is critical to turning environmental challenges into economic opportunities. We're excited to learn from this pilot and assess the viability of this potential resource recovery technology. In closing, at ARMA, we're not just stewardship recycling programs, we're reshaping Alberta's future one material at a time. Now I'd like to introduce CEO Brad Coles of Lafarge Western Canada.
Thank you very much. So what a great event here to show that industry and government working together to solve alternate fuels and how to reuse them and the circular economy. What a great day here. At Lafarge, we've always believed that technology is the key to driving meaningful change in our industry. And that's one thing that our dedicated employees are always looking at is, what are we going to do differently to change our footprint within industry? That's why we're so pleased to see the Government of Alberta's ongoing commitment to technology and innovation funding. It certainly helps us in all of our technology quests that we're looking at. We've seen firsthand the impact that government support can have. You're going to see it today here at this facility. You know, this low carbon facility that we've just had the ribbon cutting here 2 weeks ago is state of the art, as everybody's mentioned, and we're very, very excited to showcase the facility. You know, these innovative solutions not only show us reduced emissions, but position us as leaders for sustainable products and practices for the future. As been mentioned, this has been a significant milestone for Lafarge, demonstrating what is possible with industry and government collaborating. As we look to the future, we are eager to see how all the new funding that's being announced and looked at will enable us to build on past successes and continue innovating. We're also working alongside organizations like Alberta Recycling Management Authority, their new pilot programs for new sources, and that's very important as we look at how we reuse materials in the circular economy. Together we can help decarbonize the industry, promote circular economy that benefit our communities, and make sustainable environments for all. Thank you all for all the continued support, and I look forward to the exciting journey ahead. Now I'm pleased to hand it over to the Minister's Press Secretary, Ryan Fournier.
Thank you. We'll now begin our Q&A. We'll start in the room. There's one reporter. City News, do you have any questions? No? All right. I see a full lineup online, but no one in the queue. Press *1 if you would like to ask a question. Operator, could you put through our first caller, please?
Your first question comes from the line of Catherine Berkowski with Alberta Today. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. In response to the launch of your campaign, Scrap the Cap, yesterday, there were a number of people who are also opposed to the emissions cap, but said the way that the messaging was worded sort of undermines this idea that that the industry can reduce emissions. For example, oil market researcher Rory Johnson said that calling it a production cap instead of an emission cap is implying that the industry can't reduce its emissions. What would you say to those criticisms?
So first of all, what I would say is, again, the federal government is clearly going down a path where their goal is absolutely to cap production of energy here in Canada. That's not us saying that. That's been third-party verified about the impacts to our production that this proposed cap would have. And so, you know, I would just say this: when we look at the impacts, potential impacts to jobs, up to 150,000 jobs lost, up to 1 billion barrels a day of impacted production, the impact that this would have to the GDP of Alberta, but also Canada, this campaign was very much necessary. We have a federal government that tends to ignore the concerns of everyday Canadians, of provinces across the country, and quite frankly, of industry. We've provided that feedback on a number of policies that this federal government has looked at, whether that be the carbon tax, the clean electricity regs, and now, of course, that oil and gas emissions cap, which we absolutely know is designed to cap production of oil and gas, despite the fact that our energy industry is reducing emissions. Emissions are on the decline here in Alberta. When we look at our methane emissions reduction, we hit our target of 45% reductions 3 years ahead of schedule. We're down 53% when it comes to emissions in the electricity sector. We are down 23% when we look at per barrel emissions intensity in the oil sands. We have a great record on emissions reduction. I think, you know, today's announcement that we're here talking about additional emissions reduction in other sectors as well. We have an amazing story to tell, but I will just remind the federal government that, of course, energy production is an area of provincial jurisdiction. Our Premier, Danielle Smith, and our government will always continue to stand up for Albertans. And, you know, I think it's very clear in what the federal government has made public thus far, which, quite frankly, admittedly, is not a lot. They've been very secretive and not been sharing a lot of information about what this policy is actually going to look like. But all indications we have is that it's absolutely going to limit production of oil and gas here in Alberta and across the country.
Catherine, is there a follow-up question?
Yeah, and the International Energy Agency released its annual World Energy Outlook. They're saying we've seen oil, we've seen coal, the future is electricity. I don't know that you've had a chance to read over the report as it just came out, but what would you say to that they're saying we've had a history of oil, the future is electricity?
I'm not sure I caught your whole question, but I would say this, that we continue to see global demand for energy rising every single day, not just here in Canada, but around the world. Energy affordability, reliability, and energy security is a top issue. It's certainly something that I heard a lot about on the energy security front when I was in Washington just this June. But affordability of energy and electricity is a top-of-mind issue for Canadians. We want to make sure that we can continue to reduce emissions, but still deliver on the products that people use every day. It's not just the energy that we use to heat our homes and to fuel our vehicles. Oil and gas products are used in materials that we use every single day, from cell phones to medical devices, you name it. And so we don't see demand going down anytime soon. Because of our emissions record, our Premier has said we want to increase production to meet that global demand, not go in the other direction. And so I think really, quite frankly, it's a good discussion around how we, as Canadians, can actually be the solution, both on delivering on the energy needs of Canadians and folks around the world, but also reducing global emissions as well.
Operator, could you put through our next caller, please? Operator, are you there?
Your next question comes from the line of Sean Amato with City News. Please go ahead.
Hi there, for the Minister. I'm just wondering, we understand the government is going to be putting in more restrictions for where renewable projects can be built in the province. Just wondering if you could explain why that's being done, and will those same restrictions apply to oil and gas projects?
I think you're referring to some of the follow-up that came from the pause on renewables to address some of the concerns that were being heard, specifically in rural Alberta, but really around affordability, liability, and reclamation. And I'm happy to pass those questions on to Minister Neudorf if you could follow up with us after this event today.
Is there a follow-up, Sean?
Yeah, okay. Just wondering if somebody there, maybe not the Minister, I'm not sure, but somebody there could explain a little bit more about this tire fuel program. It says that Lafarge is going to reduce its natural gas use by using tire fuel. Can someone there kind of explain the technology behind that? Because it would seem that tires might be a dirtier fuel than natural gas, but apparently not.
Which the Brad's doing. Brad Pickering, CEO of ARMA, will provide some initial response.
Yeah, so the Tire-derived, as I mentioned, we're running a pilot project within sort of waste management regime. You have reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. And so the intent is to recover the energy out of the tires using technology, and the burning of the material, I think, is allows that to occur within current environmental standards as a result of the technology.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I think it's been mentioned this is one of our most modern kilns in all of North America and Canada, and the high temperature burn that it produces no waste after the burn. And as Brad said, we're not using fossil fuels, we're recycling fuels into this, and the emissions are no worse than burning a fossil fuel.
All right, seeing no one on the queue, that will conclude today's media availability. Thank you for joining us.